can't because of all the things that I've experienced, the traumas, the pain. To us, acknowledging those things that hurt us so badly, to where we are saying, I must heal, we must heal. Our culture must heal, because there are things that, that our culture need to heal from. You know, that culture of masculinity, and you cannot continue seeking help. Those cultural things, they must heal. And then we get into place of we can, and we are. And in this we break free. We break the cycle of trauma, and we start bringing up a generation that is healed. A generation that knows how to forgive, how to heal others, how to hold spaces, how to pray for one another, how to seek connection, how to go and ask, how can I pray for you today? How can I support you today? I want to start inviting a couple of questions, even as we continue. So if you forget everything I have said today, remember, it is not about what happened to you. It's about what is good and what is right with you. Name it. Even the smallest, the mustard seed is the smallest seed. Even the smallest of that. What is right with you? And let's speak it, let's name it, and let's strengthen it. Think about it. As communities, even as individuals, do you have what we call rituals of hope? Where you either pray or sing every morning or evening, where you either do journaling, lighting candle, visiting the garden, visiting your people back in the village. What are some of the rituals that build you, or that you used to do, and then you're no longer doing them? How can we revisit those rituals? Because those rituals brought about what we call connection. Unajua hivyo? Unajua siku hizi kuna groups za cousins. Unajua hivyo? Alafu wa cousins tumetoa wazazi wetu. Because hao wazazi wetu ndio wanafanya nini? Wanafanya tusipenda. There's so many people I know, they have cousins groups. But in this cousins group, the parents are not there. Because the parents are the problem. But where did it start beating the lane? Or where did it start affecting us? When did the parents start fighting? When did sisters who grew up together stop loving each other? Where did we lose the connection? It's the heart. It's the ACs. It's the cultural pain. It's the community pain. It's the climatic pain. It's the childhood pain that they experience. So let's heal that. Let's seek connection and heal one another. Let's take a few questions. Madam Flo? Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you for the session. And I think maybe you expound further on the expectation. And you spoke about the leadership. We as the citizen of the nation, this nation, are we expecting the wrong things from the leaders? Because as we send there are to be people who are going to take care of the resources and distribute them. to everyone, because they have been put there to oversee a nation on behalf of the citizen. Is that mandate clear to them? We as a parents, at different phases of our life, we have children. There are things, the age group ambao tuko nayo sahi, they might not take instruction the way we did. Have we changed the way we take care of our children? That we bring them on the table, discuss with them, tell them, labda the fighting and the caning tumeona hata kwa shule imetolewa. Do you think that is biblical right, but the society demanded it na ikawekwa? What is the place of even the community, the church, to each other? Are we doing the right thing? Do we understand what we are supposed to do? Or are we demanding too much from them? Because like now there is always a breakdown of us, even the way we deal with our parents. Leo ukipeleka watoto wako to their grandfather and mother, maybe after 2-3 days watataka kutoka. What are we not doing right? Thank you.
Thank you. So I will start with the first one, which is about leadership. Please keep reminding me because I didn't write them first. So the first one is about leadership. Number one, the historical trauma we have experienced as a nation is not allowing us to expect good things. Unaona? Na ndio kwa maana sasa tuko na conversation tunasema hata nani akichukua yeye ajui dirty game. Na unajua leadership is about dirty politics. That's what we are all saying. It's because the historical trauma that we have experienced over time is not allowing us to look at a positive way. It just keeps moving from one generation to another. And historically, it's like we have had leaders who keep taking our stuff, taking our money to themselves. Ukianza kuangalia hizo vitu za tangu kitambo, where is it coming from? Utaanza kuangalia, now we're talking about President wa Kenya, what they did. The first president of Kenya, sijui, it said that he took a lot of land, sindio? So it's like we're always expecting. Hata mwingine akikuja, atapata place ingine ya kufanya nini? Ya kuchukua. So the historical trauma in this nation is making us not see a light in any of us. Same thing even in our church leadership. It's like the universal church has been programmed to look at things in a certain way. So even when someone takes over in senior leadership, wenye wako chini watu wanajua, atafanya tu hivyo pia yeye. It's a historical trauma, unfortunately. And that's the reason why even when we talk, we never talk about good things about us. Most of the time we talk about the bad things about us. And that's why I'm encouraging us to have a shift of mind, to move from what happened to what is right with me. What is right about this country, Kenya? What makes us proud Kenyans is because, one, Kenyan flag as a wrist is the most worn in the country. That's a good thing, right? Ni kitu ambacho tunajivunia, si ndio? So what is right about this country? If we all start looking at the good side, maybe, just maybe, we could change the narrative. Same thing even in our cultures. We're looking at cultures and you're only seeing the bad things. How can we change the narrative? From what is bad to what is right, even about my community, my culture, my Kikuyu culture. So that everyone doesn't look at Mary as a Kikuyu and say, keep off women from so-and-so place. You get. So how do we start changing that narrative? It's when we get into a place of acknowledging where we are coming from and allowing ourselves to seek healing. Because, and remember I said that even our cultures need healing. So the other thing, I feel at times we get stuck in how we grew up even when we are disciplining our children, tunaanza kuambia, ujue hata sisi tulichapwa. But was it really a right thing? Ujue hata sisi, you know, nowadays we can't joke with our children the way our parents used to joke ati, musipike nitakuja mnikule. Watangoja. They will wait for you to come and eat them. But what did we do as, ulikuwa unakimbia kwa jikoni unapika, si ndio? So we can't use that language. We have to tell our children, please cook so that we have something to eat for dinner. They're not taking jokes. Atakuja kuambia, ulikuwa unanijokia kwa nini? Mom, you know, I just had a conversation with my little girl. So I called her at 12:55. Nikamwambia, Mama, you've not gone to the salon. She told me, I told Nora that I will go at 1. I'm like, but Mom, it is 1. No, it is not 1. It is 4 minutes to 1. It's not yet 1. In my mind, it is 1. But in her, no, it's not 1, Mom. That's a 5-year-old we're arguing. And so I needed to sort her at that 5 minutes to 1. But not because she's not agreeing that it is 5 minutes to, it is 1. I have to wait, and that's why I had to respond to that call I responded to in the middle of the session. Because now I had to wait for the 1 to get. I wanted to mefika 1. So how do we change how we are parenting? It is not by sarcastically saying it like our parents did. It is by being open and saying, this is it. Also, when you think about the way we never had conversation with our parents, our children are knowledgeable because information is so much outside there. So how do we start engaging and having conversation with them early on? When they even ask about those difficult questions, about genders and sexuality and everything, what do you tell them? Ati ngoja ufike 13 nitakuexplainia. Because wewe ulifikisha 15 ndio ukaanza kuambiwa. Them at 7, they already know because they have YouTube and they have, and you see, you are thinking your house is safe, but uko hivyo chini, uko hivyo nje, they are meeting with others. When you clean your house, you cannot ignore the outside because that will come back. So as you take care of your own, remember there are others outside. As somebody who dropped out of theology class, the caning business, the caning agenda, this is what I would say. I would be very cautious on how we discipline our children. As opposed to just using the cane. Well, it worked for us. Well, we were never beaten in school. Mimi, kama mimi. Shule yetu ungepigwa, mwalimu anapatiwa expulsion na HM immediately. And that's me. I grew up in Nairobi and I schooled in Nairobi. Sisi huko na guzo, the only person who could do anything or even shout at you was the principal only. But I understand wengine walichapwa. Nyinyi mulichapwa, si ndio? Sahi hatuwezi chapa watoto, but can we engage them in a dialogue? We stop asking why, even the worst of the worst bullies. It's not about why did you bully. It's what made you hit so and so. I notice your behavior is becoming ABCD. Let's talk about what is missing. Let's talk about the things that have not been comfortable. Instead of the cane, let's talk more. Are we talking more? Or we have withdrawn the cane and withdrawn the talk and only complain? That's what I would say in talk. Because we are saying the cane has been withdrawn. Okay, so what are you doing about it? AI is here with us. You know what it is replacing? So many things. India, we have to go with it. So how do we engage our children in conversations? And that's why creating rituals, including tukifika jioni, if we can share a meal, at least one meal every single day. One. Maybe we can't do breakfast because we're all living at different time. And maybe we can't even share lunch. Of course, lunch we don't share. But dinner, even if it's for 15 minutes when you come home, hata kama unafikanga usiku, but can you have a conversation before we go to bed? Make sure you meet everybody. Kamukunjia kila siku. all this WhatsApp, now we have the WhatsApp. Can you create a family WhatsApp group and you're having conversations and encouraging each other to talk? And you see, even noticing slightest behaviors in our children. Watoto wetu siku hizi wanavaa nguo ambazo hawataki kunini. You know, kitambo, our young ones loved tight jeans. You know, skinny jeans. Siku hizi, do you notice what they are wearing? What are they wearing? They are calling them mommy jeans, mommy things, mommy jeans. Why? Because there's a lot of self-harming. So they've cut themselves so much, it's so painful when you wear a tight thing. So now you wear the baggy one because it doesn't shika your skin. And then they never remove this the long-sleeved jumpers that are very baggy. Mtoto wa 13 years unafikiria ko 29. And then these are the hood. When it is sunny, how do you invite your children to even still wear their nice short-sleeved dresses and shorts for the boys and the girls, like so that you can see their bodies, so that we can see their arms and their hands? It's true. It's a true story, by the way. How do we mami nataka hiyo jumper, anaenda anachukua, so wewe hata hujaiona mkono ya mtoto wako since a turn 11, and they are literally burning. How do we encourage them to even remove and hang out with us as we watch football? It's already 2:30. You know which game is playing at 2:30? Someone who loves football. Yeah, but that's what we need to do. Let's think about different ways of disciplining our very own. Sir, did I respond to? Good, thank you.
My question is, what helps us to cope with stress?
What is stress? What is this stress you're talking about? No, when you think about stress, what is stress? What do you think is stress? Define stress.
Maybe something that maybe is disturbing you and making you not to be comfortable, and you cannot be able to associate with other people because you don't want to be among them. You isolate yourself because you have a situation that you're going through.
Okay. Now your statement has brought about two different things: stress and stressors. Unaona vile umesema maybe things that are happening that are umesema hizo vitu zote, si ndio? Those we call them stressors and not stress. Unaona hizi vitu zote including school fees, hiyo ni stressor, sio stress. It's a stressor. School fees is a stressor. Your work is a stressor. It is not stress, because stress is what happens within you because of things that have been caused by the stressors, which could be sickness, which could be lack of resources, poor housing, different expectations, because stress is not necessarily a bad thing. We have what we call eustress, which is a good stress. Think about when you're planning a graduation party, a wedding, or a birthday. There's some stress that goes with it. Sindio? It is, you feel excitement inside you. That's stress. But it's a good stress because it motivates you to get into a goal of having a wonderful wedding. It's inside you, it's a push. But the stressor is knowing, will the bride actually turn up? That's a stressor. So, why do we get stuck in a stress cycle? It's because we are always focused on those things and not on us. Unasema, mimi niko na stress. Yani boss yangu amefanya hivi, sijui. Those are stressors. So you're always focusing on your boss, on the weather, and not on what it is doing to you. I am inviting us to look at what is happening to you. When I am thinking of next week ndio watu wanarudi shule. When I'm thinking of next week, there is uniform and all those things. What happens in me? Like within me, I can even start like my heart is racing, some burning sensation, tummy pain, a chest pain. That's the stress. It's within. That's what we treat, because I can't treat school fees. I can't treat your boss, but I can treat what happens in you. You get the difference? Distress, compounded stress. Next time we will look at stress in detail. But that's what happens. So we always get stuck focusing on stress yako ni nini. We mention all those other things. No. What is you? And so when you tell me what's happening inside you, then I'm able to support you. Either by helping you breathe, by grounding you, by telling you that you need to shake and to shake off, to shake your body so that the muscles are, the tension held in different muscles of your body are released. That's what I want to do. But I can't treat stress as I can only treat stress. And that's within you. Does it help? Mm-hmm. Yes. 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 Mm. Yeah. 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 So stress is within you. I want you to notice when you mention that person in your community that has been gossiping about you, what happens to you? So it's within. So that's what I want to know, and that's what I want to support. I want to support you to deal with that issue. Yeah. But I can't support you to deal. I don't know that person. That's a stressor. Yeah. Does that help? The stressor. The trigger. How do you so there are various options, including quitting your job, but we don't want you to quit your job. So when you tell me what happens when you see your boss, I develop anxiety. Mm-hmm. So what do you know? How do you know it's anxiety? So we work around that. We support your nervous system. We support your body until this moment when you're still in that job. How to take care of you. How to protect you so that you don't go down when you see him or when he appears. So I will support you by asking you what is good with you and enlarge this container so that when this person who is your boss keeps on appearing as a trigger, you're able to still support yourself as you're probably shopping or looking for another opportunity to get out. But I want to support you so that you can continue taking care of you in the midst of these triggers, so that these triggers do not always bring you down. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, my boss, How do I handle it? As in, okay, this is my boss. I have known personally now how to handle it. I'm not anxious or anything when I'm handling them. But there's that day to day, I'm interacting with them daily. How am I supposed to handle them as individual?
So how are you supposed to handle them? There's no way you can handle them if you are not willing to be handled. There's no way you can support them if they are not willing to be supported. Because they're coming with their own baggage. And this baggage is what is interacting with you. Are they willing to get help for that baggage that is triggering them to affect your day-to-day interaction? So what matters in the here and the now is you, to take care of you. Because you can't force this person to get help. You can't force what you know to them. But if they open up, you can start having a conversation with them on how, but you can tell them, you know, when you do ABCD, this is what it makes me feel. Or this is what happens. When you do ABCD, I'm not even able to perform. The best you can do is to communicate what the action that they keep doing is affecting you and affecting this work relationship. But you can't do anything about them. You can only communicate how it keeps affecting you as a person, how it affects the work relationship, and how it affects even the day-to-day performance. So that it comes back to you and not to them. Yours is to treat you and not them. Yours is to handle you and not them, unless they are willing. Because sometimes when we keep talking how it's doing, how it's affecting, they can come into realization. And then now you can engage in a further conversation of how they can get help, including how you can support them. Because you've already gained that support yourself. Yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
I wanted to ask, are there blind spots in trauma healing?
Yes, there are blind spots in trauma healing. And this could be because we could still be stuck in that place and we are unwilling to move from that place. Like, for example, you know, there are so many traumas that even affect that we do not even know them. Like, there are things that happen to us, we don't even know whether they were traumatic events. So you may not even know. It's when you get into moments of realization or processing some of the things that you know that you actually, wait. Like nowadays, people are now realizing that actually what happened to me as a child, that wasn't love, that was abuse. But all along, maybe you didn't even know it was a trauma issue or it was a traumatic issue or event. All along, you thought maybe it was a play, it was something to be enjoyed. So you don't even know how to handle it. But kumbe imekuwa ikikukula now that you become an adult. So you don't even know. But when you start working on it, then you're like, yeah. When you start processing some of those things that happen, or where you are, and how you're handling things, then you get into a place of, yeah, this actually was a traumatic event. So let me work on it. Because we also, unfortunately, our bodies also get stuck in those moments of distress. Like you can find a 40-something-year-old person who is still stuck in a 5-year-old when the traumatic event happened. Na hatoki, na hata hajui yako hapo. But the things they keep doing, they're at age 5. And they don't know. But when you start engaging with them, then it also hits them, yeah. Actually, this is where I am. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Is there a bad state of life experience, for that matter, that we may say doesn't have a total solution at all?
Is there a bad space?
Is there a bad state of life or experience that we may say it totally doesn't have a solution?
Most of the things do not have solutions. We only know how to navigate and manage them and get near normality. Like, for example, there's you and a spouse. Tragically, you get involved in a very bad accident. And you survive, and your spouse passes on. That's a bad state. Your spouse probably leaves behind children, also many unfinished business. Cynthia, that's a bad space. we can never replace the spouse. So we support you to get into a near norm and navigate that space without this spouse, with all these tasks that you've been left to handle on your own. And I'm not going to promise total healing. I'm not going to promise total recovery. I'm not going to promise normality. But I can promise that you can be able to get into a near normal and in a space where you can be able to handle and manage even in their absence. So I enlarge you, I support you to help you and support you in those moments. I support you to support you. I help you process the loss and the grief that you've encountered so that you're able to continue supporting you and supporting the things that need to be supported without the spouse present. So there are so many things that may not necessarily go back to normal. Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's what happens most of the time. Even when we attend counseling sessions, we might want things to get back to where they were. They may never get back to where they were. And that's why, again, I am asking, what is right with you? Now, despite of all the bad things, or the bad situation, or the bad economy, or the bad weather that has refused to brighten up. What is good with us? Unaamka asubuhi kuna joto, you dress nicely, alafu inafika 12, and the doom befalls. You know? Yeah. Okay. Yes?
Hello. Mine is 2 questions in one. What is and what triggers depression?
In a layman's language, depression is low mood. That's it. Low mood. L-O-W, mood. Yes, in a layman's language. In a simple language of understanding what depression is low mood. You get? Yes. Because when you are in a state of depression, what happens to you? Ukisema ati kwanza unajua siku hizi tunaitumia kata mna feel nikiwa depressed. Sasa zile unasema na feel nikiwa depressed, unamaanishanga nini? Uko down number 1 uko down, nini nyingine? Ujisikii? La hapana. Na feel tu hivi. It's low mood. You get what I mean? It's basically low mood, but it can be triggered by so many things. So many things, including the chemical reaction in the body. You get what I mean? It can get worse that it needs to be treated medically. You know, the chemical imbalance, it can get worse where it needs to be done what? To be treated medically. But it just starts from those moments of feeling sijiski, and then we start withdrawing, getting into places of hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness. Unajua hizo vitu tunasema sijiski ndio hizo hapo hivyo, worthlessness na hizo vitu zote. It's true. Suicidal, eventual. See, I don't even need to live. I can't even live anymore. You get what I mean? So, in a layman's language, you could say, it's just low mood. And low mood in here too. So when it persists, because it can be chemically triggered, we seek treatment through medication. And it can go over a very long time. And some of us even live in that depressive state for the rest of our lives. That at times, you wake up today and your depressive status is so bad, what does it mean? That person ako too down. Si ni kweli? Ana feel kichwa inamuuma, hajisikii kufanya anything, hana concentration, hana nguvu kimwili ya kufanya chochote, hana usingizi, hasikii kukula. It's true. You get what I mean? Yeah. So it can start as something but it starts as building pole pole. And then it also gets into a place where it has to be treated medically. It becomes a disease, just like I said, because of the traumatic experiences. We have developed even what you call lifestyle what? See, we have now what they are saying, it's lifestyle conditions. Sindio? Yeah. So you see, it looks like a very big term, but it's something that happens. Inanzanga tu pole pole. Pole pole. Pole pole. Same thing. Even in suicidal moments. When we lose our jobs. When we lose our beloved ones. When we can't meet our needs. And we start kujidharau, the shame, the guilt. You know, how does even anxiety come? It just starts saa zingine tu normally. Alafu, inaenda inakuwa chronic. Yeah. Does that help? Yeah. So that's what happens, unfortunate. In layman's language, and who will tell us what depression is in their mother tongue? Because maybe saa zingine, unajua ni kweli, hizi terms ambazo tunazisikia katika mental illness space, vitu zingine tunaweza elewa zaidi when we term them in our mother tongues. Unajua hivyo? Because we understand well, we heal well in our community. Remember, that's what I said. So saa zingine, hata tukianza kuidentify hizi maugonjwa, hizi uncomfortability katika lugha zetu za mama, we might realize, this is something that I can actually manage. Yeah. So, can we start finding out, tuulize hata wazazi wetu, hii kitu tunaita depression? Because you want to tell me the way depression cases are rising, they were not there a long time ago? They were there. But there's a way our parents knew them and knew how to treat them. Including by being active. We're no longer active. Unajua ni wangapi wetu tuko na inaitwaje vitamin D deficiency? Because tunaingia kwa hiyo ofisi 7. Tunatoka 5. When do we get to see the beautiful sun? What is the deficiency of vitamin D? It can trigger suicidal thoughts. It can trigger depression. You see, the normal things that we are failing to acknowledge. The lack of magnesium. Usingizi haimo. Haipo ama haimo. Yeah, whichever that word. We are lacking magnesium. Magnesium, source ya magnesium ni nini? Vitu kama avocado, green leafy vegetables. You see, the vitamin C's. So some of these things are happening within our bodies, are things that easily manageable, but also tough to get them all access.
Hi. My question to you is, what causes defensiveness? For example, you are trying to correct someone, maybe it's a close person to you, but the way they respond to you, they are always defensive, even in small things.
What causes defensiveness, even in the smallest of the things? Survival response. It's the only way I take care of myself. Because if I allow you to tell me this, you're going to pin me down. And I don't want to continue being pinned down. It's true. It's a defense mechanism. It's a fight. It's a flight. So hiyo kujitetea kila saa, it's, no, I can't listen to you. I have always been told this is my problem from when I was a child, so I can't take it anymore. So I have to defend myself. And defense can be done in so many ways, including using resources. Yeah, it's a survival. It's how you grew up. The only way you know how to survive is by defending yourself. Some of us use verbal. Some of us kick and hit. Remember, God created us for connection. But because of all the traumas, all the stressors, all the hurts, all the pains we have experienced, we have chosen to defend ourselves. And in that space, we are always protecting me. It's me, myself, and I. And we have forgotten the connection. And we have forgotten the connection. Now we've become lonely. We've started feeling shameful, alone. We started disassociating, isolating, and unfortunately, it leads us to suicide.
Okay. And how can you, if it's maybe your sibling or it's your child, how can you be of help to them, or what can be done? If they seek counseling, what can be done for them to be able to overcome that? Because now we realize it's a survival response.
So let's say, for example, if it's your child who is close, or even maybe your sibling, depending on the age of the sibling again, you want to say, I noticed that every time we talk about this, you're always responding to this. Let's talk more about why or what makes you respond this way. So open up the conversation. Let them come on and tell you what makes them respond in a certain way anytime you engage in the conversation. And then from then, you can first create a safe space, you yourself. So even when you're having this conversation with them, it's not a conversation that uko na shida sana nataka uende counseling. It is, you could even start with, at times when my boss comes, if I don't want to do anything, this is what I respond. This is how I respond. So you even start with you, and then you point it back to them. So create safety for you, so that they can feel secure even as they're engaging you and they're having this conversation with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, say you're in an environment where you're trying to work on yourself, to heal from your traumas and all the triggers that bring it back. But then the environment that you're in, you are surrounded by a couple of narcissists. How do you handle that kind of a person?
Let me say this. We have become the psychiatrists. We want to diagnose people with narcissism. a disclaimer first. So most of the time, we are hearing this word so much. Sindio, your word, narcissist. It's being misused. How do you know this person is a narcissist? How do you know these people are narcissists?
They're always having some negative energy, something negative to say. They're never positive. And then they bring you down to, like, wakuweke chini, wajiweke juu. You know? They bring you down to bring themselves up. Yeah.
So they're not necessarily narcissists. They could be people who are responding to you from a defense mechanism. And a defense mechanism in them could be a fight. And a fight could be putting you down. I win by putting you down. That doesn't mean that I'm a narcissist.
So who is a narcissist then?
You who has said a narcissist, because I've heard it, especially the women, have turned all men to narcissists. Unfortunate. There's a criteria for diagnosing people into different mental health conditions. And that person, I don't label people. Like I am very careful never to label people. Because most of the time, the behavior we pick is as a response to the things that have happened to us, we have experienced, or that we are experiencing. You get what I mean? Including, for example, even when you think about depressive state. What made even this person get into depressive state? We term every person who we use, the mostly used common diagnostics are narcissism, gaslighting, aya gani ingine? I think, yeah? Toxic. Oh, well, of course, toxic is not a mental health diagnostic. Nizo mbili, especially narcissism. So most of the time, this person, you see, the fight, flight, freeze, submission. Submission could be, mimi nishachoka, hata niuwe tu sai. You get? They can't do anything. You know, like, they're just there. They're submitting. Fight could be any small thing, argument. They verbally insult you. Including always wanting to bring you down. There are so many wonderful men who are always bringing their spouses down. They even use conditions of where the woman came from, whether this partner can be able to get children, level of education, job status, vitu tu nyingi. Atatumia such words to keep fighting you and bringing you down. They're not necessarily narcissists. They could also be struggling with their own issues. You know that? They could be struggling. You, as the person who is being put down, is submitting, and this one is fighting. You get? Or you are frozen, and this one is fighting. Unaona? So both of you, because tukianza sasa pia kutumia terms, we will give you even you are a narcissist in another way. Because the men are also looking at you, mbona nikikuongelesha unijibu? You are a narcissist because you use silence to gaslight me. It's true, the men are saying that. She gaslights me by keeping quiet. And for her, she's frozen. So so the question is, the two questions. One, you're working through your traumas, but let's use the example of a relationship, because that's where you're trying to, one spouse is trying to work on their issue, but the environment is unbearable. It's not easy to start a new story in an old book. Sindio? Unaona hiyo kitabu tukitaka kuandika story, si lazima tutafungua new page. So how do you heal? So one is, how do you take care of yourself in this space? So for example, if you came to me and you told me you want to heal in this relationship, mine, you see, marriage is a creation of God and men picked. So it's a thing. So marriage is separate from individuals. I will empower you to see whether you can continue being in this relationship and heal, or get out and heal, or fight and heal. Mine is to empower you to see what is happening. I will not tell you to leave. I will not tell you to stay. I do not care about the other person. You are my client at that particular moment. So I will help you to see the pain that is coming to you. And then as we work through this, you will be able to tell, can I survive? Can I continue healing when I'm in this space? You will make the final decision. We as counselors, when you come to me as a coach, naweza kuambia tu hizo vitu zote. Ukiwa tu rafiki yangu nitakwambia sasa, when utakufa. But when you come to me as a client, even when you're being killed, I will not even tell you that. Me, I'll just listen to you. Imagine, that's what happens by the way. Yes. The only person I can withdraw from an abusive relationship is a child who is below 18 years. And I will not withdraw. I will work with a social worker who will withdraw this child. But any adult who made a decision to be in that relationship, or whether it was, I will just support you to see, to open your eyes to see all these things, and then you can decide. But utakuwa ukienda unarudi. But I'll also help you see that the more you continue doing that, but I'll never tell you leave or stay. I'll help you process the pain, the hurt, the anger, the sadness, the frustration, the anxiety, the depression, the suicidal thoughts. But I'll never ever tell you to leave. It's unethical as a professional. Yes. Because mimi nitakusaidia tu uone kama hii marriage ni kitu unafaa kuendelea nayo. Because it's not the marriage that I'm counseling. It's the person, Anne. Yes, please.
As in, do you have My question to you is, where can you be found if someone wanted to engage you with you one-on-one?
Okay. I hang around here in Karen. Not Karen, yeah, here in Karen. Unaona hapo hivyo kwenda kwa Karen Triangle Estate. It's called Karen Triangle Estate. I work in an organization called Center for Suicide Research and Intervention. We're based in Karen, just here. You know that shell called Kabwagi? The first shell as you go to Ngong? On this, behind the shell. Yes, I'm behind shell. That's where my first office is. So I have an office there, I have an office in Roresho, and I have another office on Langata Road. And I also see people online.
But how can someone get you?
Oh, how can someone get me? I can give you my number.
Okay.
So my number is, sitasema, okay, I can say it online. I can say it. 0703 388 130 30 0703 388 130. So that's my official number. So if you call that number, if you call that number, just tell them you want to talk to Mary, and then they will direct you to me. Sawa? And then now you will get my other number that I can't say online. but I will tell you. But that's the official number. So 0703-388-130. Just call, tell them you want to talk to Mary, and then they'll direct you to me, and then now we will pick it up from there, and you can get the other number that you can talk. Madam Rose, can I hand it over to you? Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in front of you, for giving me your ears, and for just being present. It means a lot. Sawa sawa. So yeah, thank you. Na Mungu awabariki sana. And remember, if you forget everything else, what is right with you? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Mary Gitau. We are so excited. The topic is so huge, we cannot even finish today. Do we need another seminar? Because we need to learn more and more, because this topic is so huge, it's so wide. So God bless you so much. Can we give it up for her again? Nataka invite our queen, chair lady, atuambie 2 things or 3, and then we finish up our session. Karibu sana, chair lady.
Yes, Madam Mary. Thanks so much. Once again, Madam Mary, okay. I appreciate our speaker of the day, and I'm sure you have learned something. Sindio? Simesoma kitu? We have learned something. And that's why it's important for you are coming, okay? It's always good to come, hear what is there for you, and become a beneficiary for that, okay? Thanks so much for leaving your whatever you've been doing at home, domestic work, creating time to come, and we share this wonderful, we learn together. We learn together. Thank you, Madam Mary. By the way, she's a doctor. Dr. Mary, is it?
No.
I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Okay. By the way, thanks so much once again. Really appreciate so much. Thank you for the good work. Thank you for creating time for us. Thank you even calling you and coming. We appreciate it so much, okay? Today, I was expecting. I expected it was for queens and princesses, but the topic ikakuwa common to all. So, tukasema, Teacher Biki request the young adult to come, and then tukamwambia it's okay. In fact, in the morning, walikuwa wengi sana hapa. So that's when tukasema tufanye open for all. Tumepika chakula nyingi, si kama mtabeba food zingine nyumbani, ama tutaitia wageni all over around. But anyway, we thank God for that. Hata kupata chakula si ni Mungu. So we have food, tutakuwa chini tukule chakula pamoja, tujuane zaidi. And then before we go, Madam Mary, kindly, where is she go? Oh, Shalom, kindly help me to take our guests to the Shalom room, please. And okay. Queens and princesses, nataka tusukume kidogo hapa, tupatiane kidogo. We have something to kuongea, and then we break for lunch. Once again, thanks so much for your coming, your time. Mungu wabariki. And I think the next seminar, tutapanga in a good way, si ndio?